Hey guys, today we're going to be opening a Saga of the Blue Eyes White Dragon structure deck. We're also going to be making a somewhat competitive deck out of only the 3 structure decks. And the reason I'm doing this is, there's actually a few. Number one, a lot of people who are trying to get their friends to play Yu-Gi-Oh! They have this negative connotation with Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a children's card game, it's expensive, it requires too much time to learn, blah blah blah. With the Saga of the Blue Eyes structure deck, Konami's done something interesting. It's taken an old popular monster in Blue Eyes and built around it. Now that's going to be smart because people like me, I'm a little bit older than probably most of you, I'm 27. I was around when the original Blue Eyes structure deck was out, so this automatically was appealing to me because it's kind of nostalgic. So those guys who may have played years and years ago may be like, oh, I remember Blue Eyes, that is kind of cool. Another thing is that at $9.99 each, for $30 you can get all 3 of these decks, and then play something that's, well, it's still kind of retro with the Blue Eyes White Dragon, it's still kind of new with the Blue-Eyed Maiden and things like that. So I thought that, much like my Agent deck profile, which I use using only structure decks and a few stable cards, I felt like this would be another deck that's good to do that with, especially for people who try to enter the game. I picked up these tonight. This actually came out today. Picked up some sleeves. We'll sleeve up a deck at the end. And a quick judgment of the light booster. I always have to buy a booster pack. Let's just open it now and see if we pull anything at the beginning of the video. Shark Caesar. I did get a holo. What is this? Blue Impala. It's a Mecha Phantom Beast, so I'm guessing it's not worth anything, but still pretty cool to pull an Ultra. Nothing wrong with that. So put that to the side. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unbox one of these structure decks, and then we're going to go through the cards and pick out the good ones, throw away the bad ones, and make a decent deck out of it. Now this is actually something that's pretty cool. I just opened up a box. We get our cards, our little paper playmat, our newest rulebook, and this actually has the list of every card that's on here, but if I flip this over, look at the title list. I don't know if you can read that. It says, if you can versus when you can. This is explaining the missing the timing ruling, and this is pretty cool that they're showing this in a structure deck, because that's something that people continuously mess up, don't understand. So the fact that they're putting this in structure decks is pretty cool. So this shows you some of the basic combos, and we'll go over those later. But first, let's unbox this bad boy and take a look at some of the cards. We got structure deck here. Rip this bad boy open. Very first card we have is the Blue Eyes art that has the tablet in the background. Not my favorite. I am switching these out for classic Blue Eyes, like you get in the structure deck, but you do need it for the deck. Next is your go-to synchro. If you're going to be playing this deck, pretty basic, you're going to want to get this guy out. He protects your dragons, protects himself, and special summons Blue Eyes back out of the graveyard. Next we have the Maiden of Eyes with Eyes of Blue. This card's pretty cool. This is pretty much what you get on the field. If they attack it or try to target it with an effect, it's going to special summon a Blue Eyes. So she's also a tuner, so a Blue Eyes plus her equals that synchro. Some new cards. We got Dragon Shrine. We have Rabbit Dragon, which while he does look stupid, he's only 50 attack points worse than a Blue Eyes. So if you want to double up and run Rabbit Dragon with Blue Eyes, you can. Not something I'd recommend, but he is actually a pretty powerful monster stat-wise. 2900 defense is actually better than Blue Eyes. So, just a cool card. An Exandrite Dragon. A nice basic attack dragon, 2000 attack. We do have our Luster Dragon. Another dragon that's just a beat stick, 1900. Flamville Guard, just a level 1 tuner. Rider of the Storm Winds. We'll go over this guy in a minute, but he is also a level 1 tuner. Darkstorm Dragon, Kaiser Glider, Tefnuit, Mirage Dragon, Divine Dragon Apocryph. I love this card. I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago when I was going over Chaos Dragons and stuff. I actually really liked this card. So, you go Whitestone, a Legend, and you can use that with Card of Constance. You'll draw 2 cards and get a Blue Eyes to your hand. It's pretty amazing. Kaba Man, Herald of Creation, Kaiser Seahorse, a Honest, Double Shining Angel, When the Silvers Cry, 1 Burst Stream of Destruction, 1 Stamping Destruction, 1 Wing Beat of Giant Dragon, 1 Trade-In, what a nice reprint, 1 Card of Consonance, another nice reprint, White Elephant's Gift, 1 for 1, Monster Reborn, now banned card, Dragonic Tactics, Soul Exchange, nice reprint, Swords, Enemy Controller, Castle of Dragon Souls, another Fiendish Chain reprint, a Kunai with Chain reprint, interesting, Damage Condenser, Call of the Haunted, Compulse, and Champion's Vigilance. So that's the unboxing of the deck, guys. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to separate the cards into 2 piles, cards I think that are good and cards that I think are bad, and we'll go over more in depth the cards that I think are good and why I think they're good. Alright guys, so last night I put up a video with a basic deck list that you can run fresh out the box of 3 structure decks and be competitive within a degree, you know, not beating Dragon Plants, things like that. But if your friend has a fun deck and you want a fun deck, or you're trying to get someone into the game, this is what I recommend to you. If you buy 3 Dragon structure decks, don't know where to start, I'm going to get you started here, and from here you can branch out and do whatever you want to do. So, I already showed you the opening of the pack of the actual structure deck. So let's go over the deck. First, we have our 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons up here. He's your main attacker. He's 3,000 attack. Normal monster, can't be affected by Fiendish Chain, keep that in note. And he's your main attacker. He's what ends the games. We have a normal summonable Beat Stick in the Alexandrite Dragon. Also is supported by the same cards that support the normal dragon monsters. We have 3 Shining Angels, and they'll go out there, they'll get destroyed by battle, and bring out your Blue Eyes Maiden. And your Blue Eyes Maiden, when she's attacked, she switches herself, and she negates the attack, switches her attack position, and then she special summons a Blue Eyes White Dragon. If she's targeted for an effect, when she's targeted for effect, it's the same thing. She will actually not negate it, but she will special summon a Blue Eyes. So she's a level 1 tuner, a spellcaster. She's your bread and butter. She's going to be stalling for days, or she's going to be forcing your opponent to let you special summon a Blue Eyes, which, that's amazing. So we're running 3 of her. We're running 3 Whitestone of Legend. I don't want you to think of Whitestone of Legend as much as a tuner as it is a tool to help us out. It brings Blue Eyes to our hand. It's Card of Consonance fodder. It's really part of the toolbox of the deck. You can synchro with it. You can set it and get a Blue Eyes. But that's it's Card of Consonance and Dragon Shrine fodder. And we'll talk about the Dragon Shrine later. We have 2 Mirage Dragons. Again, everything in here is only from the structure deck. This is stuff you can get. You buy 3 structure decks, you get all the stuff. Mirage Dragon, he's only got 1600 defense, but when he's on the field, you can't activate trap cards during the battle phase. So if you put him down at the right amount of time while you have a Blue Eyes or some combination of these cards out there, you're going to be hitting for a ton of damage, and they can't Mirror Force it. They won't be able to bounce it. They won't be able to do anything like that. So Mirage Dragon, we're running him at 2 for now. 1 Honest, because lights everywhere. Obvious light support. And 1 Divine Dragon Apocalypse. It's pretty much a monster reincarnation with legs. We're going to ditch 1 card of the graveyard and get back a dragon card. So mainly what I use it for is if I have a trade-in or a dead Card of Consonance in hand, I could drop a Apocalypse from the hand, and then get either a tuner or a level 8 monster to use with those draw cards. So that's a basic lineup here. We have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 17, 18, 19 monsters here. And, you know, anywhere between 18 and 21 monsters is okay. So this is a good place to start. If you want to tech in a Dark Storm Dragon or a Rabid Dragon, feel free to do that. This is just what I'm running, or what I suggest to run. Alright guys, here we have just an example of a suggested spell lineup that you can get out of the structure deck. The first 3 cards, they're quick play magic cards or spell cards. They're called Silver's Cry, and it should pretty much just read special summon a Blue Eyes. You can only use once per turn, but it is a quick play, so it's kind of works like a Call of the Haunted, but you can't, you know, use multiple in a turn. It's a great card. Pulls out the Blue Eyes on your turn. It acts like a Monster Reborn, and you have effects that can be used once you get the Blue Eyes. Obviously attacking for game, being able to drop this in the battle phase. All great things. We are going to run 3. We're going to max out on them. We want to be able to get that Blue Eyes out there and putting in work. quick and often. Next we have Dragon Shrine. It's a cool card. It's like a Foolish Burial on crack for the deck, and this one card can thin your deck by 3. If you activate Dragon Shrine, you can send a dragon to the graveyard. If it's a normal dragon, you can send another one. So a typical play would be play Dragon Shrine, send a Blue Eyes, and you now get to send another dragon, send a White Stone of Legend, and then get another Blue Eyes to your hand. Now you can see, once I use this effect once, I pretty much can't use that same play again because there's only 3 Blue Eyes in a deck. So we're not maxing out at 3. We can actually probably get away with 1, but we do want to see it kind of early to thin the deck out, so we're running 2 for now. Next we have Card of Consonance. You group this with your White Stone of Legend, and you not only do you draw 2 cards by turning in that Card of Consonance, you'll also get a Blue Eyes to your hand, which brings me to this card right here. This is Trade In. You can trade in a Blue Eyes, get 2 cards, send it to the graveyard, then reborn it with a Silver's Cry if you'd like. We also have a Stamping Destruction. We don't have MSTs in the structure deck, guys. It's a very easy to get card, but if we're going just by what we can get out of the structure deck, Stamping Destruction, if I have a dragon on the field, it can destroy a spell or trap card and deal 500 points of damage to the owner. The reason why it's not as good as a standard MST is because it requires a dragon on the field A, which isn't terrible, but it's also not a quick play, so just keep that in mind. You can use probably, and again, these numbers are not set in stone. If you'd rather run, 1 Stamping Destruction and maybe an extra trade-in or things like that, this is just what I suggest. I tested this deck all day today, so if you want to take that for what it's worth, I had a great time playing the deck. A lot of people were kind of looking over my shoulder like, oh, what are you doing? And I said, I threw 3 structure decks together, and this is what I came up with. Beat some well-constructed decks, also took some hard losses, so this is the best build I've come up with. We have a Burst Stream of Destruction. If I have a Blue Eyes, it wipes out all of my opponent's monsters, but I can't attack that turn. We don't have a Dark Hole, so if there's a monster that we just can't get around, Burst Stream of Destruction is going to be our out to it. You can also clear away whole fields of monsters pretty quickly. It's quite awesome. And then a 1-for-1, we can discard a monster to special summon a Blue Eyes Maiden out to the field. Again, Blue Eyes Maidens are bread and butter. We want to get to her very quickly. Alright guys, we have our trap lineup here. Right here we have the 3 best traps in the deck. Fiendish Chain, we're maxing it out. Not only does it stop opponent's effects, stops them from attacking, you can actually use it to trigger your own Blue Eyes Maiden. Your Maiden will be negated, but only after she special summons a Blue Eyes. So you can target your own Maiden, get a free Blue Eyes if you need to, if you're desperate. A lot of you already know what Fiendish Chain does. We got 2 Champions Vigilance. It acts like a Solemn Judgment if I have a Blue Eyes on the field. Now, it's a situational card, so you can run 1 or none of these cards and be okay. I just like flipping the card over because people will read it and they're like, are you serious? It's a Solemn. And you're like, yeah, it's a Solemn. But you do have to meet the field requirements. So it's a spell speed 3. It's good, not great. I was testing 2 today and it didn't seem dead too often. So we'll go with that. We have 2 Call of the Haunted. This may seem kind of redundant when we're already using Silver Cry. Remember, you can only use 1 Silver Cry per turn and it can only get Blue Eyes. So if I want to get out a Maiden to then go ahead and Synchro, or another monster, I would use Call of the Haunted. Call of the Haunted, we all know what it does. And then we are going to use the 1 Compulse we're allowed to use. So I'm going to do a quick run through of the deck. Alright, here I have some cards that should be relatively easy, some more than others to pick up, that you can add to your deck. And I'll tell you what you can add out to put these in. So one is an MST. You would pretty much replace your Stamping Destructions with MST. It's an easy upgrade. These are easy to get, so if you have them, you can replace the Stamping Destructions. We have 1 Dark Hole. Obviously, this will replace our Burst Stream of Destruction. I understand that it does take out your monsters, but it does open the field for attacks. And it's just a better overall late-game top deck because it doesn't require anything on the field. Now, this next card, I know it's not cheap, but if a lot of people already picked these up, Maxi is great for the deck. A lot of decks this format just like to go off, and if you can keep on drawing cards, you'll have answers for everything they throw out there. So if you have it, play it. You can take out maybe a Mirage Dragon, or just add it into the deck and take something else out. Book of Moon, just a great card. I love Book of Moon, and I would recommend running it if you can, if you have them. Again, very easy to find card. Bottomless Trap Hole, another easy to find card. You can only run 1 of them, and it's great defense. Solemn Warning, same thing as Bottomless, a great defensive card. and relatively easy to pick up. I know Maxi and Sol Morning may be more expensive, but I mean, if you find someone nice enough, they may be able to give you a deal. We already talked about Forbidden Lance, I believe. Did we talk about Lance? Lance obviously protects your monsters, targets your maiden to proc her effect. Great things. Same thing with Wonder Wand. Wonder Wand, you equip it to your maiden, you get your blue eyes, you then sacrifice your maiden for Wonder Wand and draw 2 cards. A very interesting and cool thing you can do with the deck. So let's kind of go through the deck. I think I have it set up. Is it backwards? I think it's backwards right now. Again, here's your 3 cards for your extra deck. It's Azure Dragon. Sometimes when you have a Blue Eyes and a level 1 tuner in Maiden, it's better to stick with the Blue Eyes and the tuner in the Maiden, because it's just, this card can be answered to. You know, they can Fiendish Chain you, they can do a lot of things in the standby phase to make this kind of seem wasteful. 2500 attack doesn't get over as many things as 3000, obviously. It seems pretty practical, but I was watching some other people play today, and as soon as they got a Blue Eyes and a Maiden on the field, they went straight into this guy, even when they didn't need to, even when their opponents had a ton of back row to really combat it. So sometimes know when to stop and stick with your Blue Eyes. Additionally, this card can steal games for you. If you're able to get its effect to resolve, and then get out a Silver Cry and get out another Blue Eyes and things like that, you obviously can net game from almost anywhere. 2500 attack here, 3000 on a Blue Eyes, that's 5500. That's more than half their HP gone. So if you can get it, you know, midway through the duel, I mean, you should be able to get game from there. Other extra deck cards, Cataster being one, because you are running level 4s and level 1 tuners. I think it's Armades, the new synchro that pretty much stops card effects. And Queen Dijin, it requires 2 level 4 monsters, and it pretty much special summons dragons out of the graveyard. Red Eyes Darkness Metal is another card you can use in the deck. Relatively cheap, but that structure deck was printed a long time ago, so they may be harder to come by. So let's go backwards through the deck. It's 40 cards. Obviously you can take stuff out, put stuff in as you see fit. This is mainly just to get an idea of what's good in the deck, how it can work, how it runs, and you guys are smart. I know you can figure it out. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below. Thank you for sitting through this entire video, and good luck summoning your Blue Eyes White Dragons.
I will not summon Blue Eyes by tribute, or the deck will fail. I will not summon Blue Eyes by tribute, or the deck will fail. I will not summon Blue Eyes by tribute, or the deck will fail. I will not summon Blue Eyes by tribute, or the deck will fail. I will not summon Blue Eyes by tribute, or the deck will